Hi, welcome to DataAbyss. We're going to search around the environment and through some of the data to include organizational data, technology data, people data, and award data, as well as demo some of the capabilities currently available and dashboards in Kibana. So first I'm going to search organizations for terms like quantum, or you type in machine, and this will pre-populate organizations that mention this term with a natural search capability that will identify likely other terms that you might be interested in. I'm going to search quantum. From here, we could use some of these filters up top, quickly assess some of the risk related to these organizations. From here, we could search or filter on some of these keywords, such as squid, just by clicking that keyword. Again, go over to the side here and look at some of these risky entities. Over here on the right, we have a very high EL for entity list, which is from the Department of Commerce, identifies some of these entities that the U.S. needs certain licenses or legal documentation to do import-export business with. These affiliations are clickable to add additional filters. And from here, these are all organization cards that are clickable to expand on and kind of dive into the organizational pages. Again, you can click on the right here these known risks from this entity. At the top, you can click to search this organization on Google Maps, Google Scholar, Baidu. We have additional data down here on the direct people related to this organization, authors and co-authors that are related to this organization, known affiliations, 188 identified, funding, that was funding, affiliations, keywords, and emails, domains, network graphs that are expandable and clickable, dendrograms, which are pretty cool, that are clickable to expand on first order and second order relationships with these organizations. You can expand this out to perform additional analysis on these organizations, see how they follow this path of relationships. Keyword clouds, other keyword clouds are clickable to Google, they're filterable, such as if I want to go back, type in, say, quantum, and give me terms that mention quantum, quantum dot, topological quantum states, and documents and publications over time. We can go back. There's also a marketplace for organizations. I'm working on marketplaces for people and technologies as well. From here, you could click on any of these. Basically, they're just predefined filters, such as PLA troops. Let's do a Google Translate. And these are all different troop units and PLA related organizations. From here, we could click Unit 91550. This is pretty neat. These people are directly associated with this unit, meaning they're either employees or associates directly of this unit. Now we'll go back. We'll search technologies. Technologies will do similar search. We can type in quantum. What this will populate is terms. It's based on Elasticsearch significant terms query API, where you can search something like quantum and it'll give you recommendations back of papers, keywords that mention quantum. So maybe you really are focused on quantum cryptography or quantum computation. You can click any of these, and it'll populate pretty much like a technology dashboard. That's also everything's clickable to explore relationships between quantum computation and, say, quantum teleportation. And then the keywords of quantum computation related over time. And then related keywords on other papers, the titles, authors, affiliations, emails, domains, funding, which are all filterable and exportable to use in other applications or other further analysis of those terms. We'll explore people. So people is basically these people cards. You can search anything. That'll create an and or query, so you can do quantum, gate, and gate. Search quantum and gate. Try that again. Let's say quantum and gate, with an and. Have an error there. Search quantum, quantum gate, click on that. And what these people cards identify are the people's names, their email addresses, and the organizations that they belong to, if we know what organization, and the domain of that email address, and keywords associated with them. From here, you could look for identifying entities that are very high risk, again by those risk identifiers on the left-hand side. And we can click any of these people cards and understand their affiliations, their associates, search for those people. Eventually here, what's intended on these people cards is to have analyst notes, and also, analyst notes through the whole web application, but also pictures over here on the right side that analysts can import, so we can have a picture to the name of all these entities. Now we'll go back and search awards. We could search quantum again for awards. So these awards are aggregated on this award number here. In the app, we can make it more visually apparent of what this is actually searching, but what's really going on is I'm aggregating the information on these award numbers and all the publications on the award numbers. Click any of these, and again, information similar to the people card about the awards. We could look for very high risk awards. Maybe let's try something a little bit more interesting, such as hypersonic, and look for specific awards that mention hypersonic weapons. This one might be interesting. then further analysis could be performed on those awards. Eventually, what will happen would be you could click on these awards and go directly to the papers themselves and read all the abstracts or full content. Or from here, you could obviously click the URLs if you're interested in learning more about that award. Now I'll explore strategic competition. Strategic competition is a way to search keywords, terms, say hypersonic weapon, expand. This is with a significant term query, so hypersonic weapon as it relates to hypersonic inlet. And from here we could start to search and filter on the organizations that are working hypersonic weapons and hypersonic inlet as it relates to hypersonic flow, and these are your top organizations focused on those areas. These numbers are the amount of papers. So it's 27 papers related to. Let's see, go back. Nanjing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics. From here, they're clickable if we have direct funding associated with these terms. So Nanjing University of, again, China Academy of Aerospace Aerodynamics Technology. Funding coming from the 863 Fund, another Special Project Research Fund, National Natural Science Foundation of China. And it looks like the organizations that they're doing research with is, again, Nanjing University of Aeronautics, Astronautics, School of Energy and Power, and School of Energy Power again. So this really gets you to a point of focusing on who's specifically focused on specific areas. To follow the funding path, it's not always available. Maybe 40-50% of the time we can follow this direct path from the multiple and queries of the technologies to organizations to funding to other end user organizations. And then other capabilities we're developing right now, similar to strategic competition. I'm working on organizational targeting, network graph UI capability that should be available in the next week or so. That'll be really awesome for specific organizational targeting applications. From here, we're going to explore Kibana. In Kibana, I have a lot of the similar data, but within Kibana, it has direct access to discover, to query the actual data itself, the raw data, and then a series of dashboards such as hypersonic dashboards, PLA Air Force dashboards, quantum dashboards, people dashboards. Let's click on the people PLA dashboard. That's basically a filter on the organizations of the people related to PLA units, some risk identifiers and risk organizations, and obviously the paper titles and other affiliations of these entities. From here, we could go to one of the data sets that wasn't in the DataAbyss.ai app is this domain index that I haven't made available yet. The domain index allows you to basically search per domain, web domain, and understand all the emails associated with that web domain, keywords around them, organizations and affiliations of these web domains. So the organizations would be from this web domains nudt.edu.cn. These are all the NUDT schools and labs associated with directly NUDT and their direct affiliations from the email addresses. What this domain index would be for is if, from a cyber perspective, if you're wanting to pivot from maybe email addresses that are registering for your web application, or specific organizations, you could pivot. Or if you're focused on protecting certain technologies, this would be an interesting cyber element to protecting your infrastructure, understanding your users, maybe high risk or threat users. Obviously, if you're a U.S. entity, you might not want to have NUDT.edu.cn users, which is the National University of Defense Technology of China. You might not want to have those users, so this would allow you to kind of understand what very high-risk entities might be associated with your, kind of enterprise or your applications. Here's going back to those domain tech dashboards. So from here, you could, say you wanted to search hypersonic and get a list of domains related to hypersonic, maybe hypersonic glide specifically. Nope. But you get the idea. From here, organizations, we can click on, so these are organization dashboards. We can just look at specific organizations. From here, you can filter on a certain organization. Or let's go back and just pick organizations hypersonic. So organization with the term hypersonic, something simple, hypersonic in the name. From here, we have 3, 4. We have a couple different organizations here with hypersonic in the name. Any of these are filterable. So say we wanted to click on the Air Breathing Hypersonic Technology Research Center. Here's their known affiliations. Organizational risks identified mainly by ASPI, the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, and a couple other visualizations. What else do we have here? Publication dashboards. I have a pathogens publication dashboard that I was working with. So here's my pretty long OR query here at the top, and filtering on specific affiliations related to the PLA. Might take a moment because it's a pretty big query and a lot of data. So there you go. And then here's some timeline of risky entities. And really what you're probably seeing here is this was a period of time when these risky entities actually started emerging. So that's what you're seeing here, when they didn't exist before then, some of them. Here's a publications and technology dashboard. Really the focus of this is to search for certain technologies, say troops and genetic algorithms, and then understand those PLA troop organizations, the list over here on the left, and maybe the technologies that they're focused on over a period of time, which is year here down at the bottom. And that's about it at this point. So back to DataAbyss, some of the next iterations of UI components that we're working on is a publications search, to actually search on the publications where all this information is derived from, domains and social media the social media elements would be similar to people, but you could search, things like hypersonic and get the profiles back, such as GitHub, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other profiles related to the people. So it would be a way to search for papers and get returned back social media profiles of interest and the risk elements related to those social media profiles based on the affiliations from the initial research papers. That would be an interesting element for if you're focused on, hypersonic, flight control technology, and you're wanting to focus on or target the social media profiles or the people in that regard. Maybe you're looking for source code, so you're looking for GitHub accounts related to hypersonic flight control. That data is processing right now and in the works. It's largely available. I could make it available in Elasticsearch, but from the UI perspective, that's still in development. And probably realistically a couple of weeks out. And that's about all I had. Again, rolling out, focused on lots of different, ways to search and make the UI components more user-friendly, analyst-friendly, to get to the need much, focus need much quicker. Also, in this organization data, you can search for, say, universities like Harvard, so U.S. entities, and look at the risk to some of these U.S. entities, which obviously you see Harvard is working with Harvard Institute of Technology and Sichuan University, which are on the U.S. entity list. And I am not exactly sure when those entities made the entity list. It's not to say they can't work with them. They would just have to get some approvals and documentation in place before they exchange any IP or research or technology. So here's Harvard Medical School and its relation to other Chinese entities. You could also search, say, you just want to search a place, such as like New York, and get recommendations back, cards back of terms related to an organization related to New York in the name. Others could be Dayton. I'm in Dayton, Ohio. Or Cincinnati. Cincinnati. Well, thank you for watching my demonstration. Feel free to sign up for a demo account. You can go to DataAbyss.ai and click demo and sign up for a demo account. Please email me if you have any questions or concerns or comments or feedback, and happy to give anybody a trial production account for full access to Kibana or Elasticsearch, and with full data export rights. Thank you so much.